Hello, it's me, Pavlo, and here is your daily dose of beautiful Ukrainian accent. We continue exploring new models made by ddHiFi, and today it's time to talk about Eye3. Actually, the third version of this deck has nothing in common with Eyes, unlike two previous versions that had shape that definitely reminded human eye. But ddHiFi decided to keep the continuity despite the changes in the design. And now we have a really small but really powerful portable deck. It can deliver more than 500 milliwatts for 32 ohms load on the balanced output, built with two Cyrus Logic 43198 DAC chips. Prices in the range from $100 to $110. I will add links to the official site in the description, so you'll be able to find the store in your country or the ones that will be convenient for you. And as it's made by ddHiFi, we can expect a great sound and fancy design. So let's check these expectations. Package traditionally for ddHiFi is made in minimalistic aesthetics. On the front side, just the photo of the product, name of the model, Eye3, and on the rear side, the list of technical specifications, actually pretty detailed one, including weight, dimensions, power, and all that stuff. Here we have this scratch sticker that works as a seal, and you can scratch it to check if that's an original product or some counterfeit one. And inside white cardboard box, and in this box we are getting stock USB cable, and underneath device itself it would be nice to see some leather case probably, but it's made of metal, so it's not that critical for this device. And if you need the user guide, you can scan this QR code and see it online. But frankly speaking, I don't think that dongle deck requires any user guide. So here it is. It looks small, it looks incredibly cute, and at the same time well done. Everything is really solid and well built, interesting shape, and in real life it's smaller than it looks on the photos. In the past, I often compared dongles with my pinky finger, but you can see that modern dongles are way smaller than that. So really tiny, and it's incredible to see that amount of power it can deliver in this size. So on one side we have USB Type-C for transport, and on the other side two outputs, single-ended and balanced. Three buttons, two for volume control. It has 60 steps of independent volume control, and one button to toggle gain modes. And all three buttons have nice tactile click, really pleasantly clicking, but at the same time they require a bit of additional force to push, so that protects them from accidental pushes somewhere in your pocket or bag. And on the rear side, two hidden LED indicators, one for PCM or DSD signal, and the second one for the high gain mode indication. Stock cable also looks incredibly well, and you can see unusual big bodies of the connectors, but they looks nice with this dongle, they matching the design. And if you need, the ddHiFi has additional versions of this cable available for separate purchase, with one angled connector and with both connectors angled if you prefer 90 degrees angled connectors. And cable is soft, flexible, in fabric insulation, looks pretty reliable, and works really great. So overall I can say that it has all the exterior parts are extremely well looking, and presentation, accessories set, design, actually not accessory set, just stock cable, everything is really well looking. If you are interested in power consumption, you can see measurements now on the screen. Also, it gets warm when it's working, not hot, but warm, at least in my usage scenarios. But I'm not sure why people pay so much attention to that, because it's unavoidable. It has built-in DAC and amplifier, and all that semiconductor devices need to distribute heat somewhere, and in this case, somewhere is just the outer shell of this device. Sound-wise, it's a great example of combination of decent components and good engineering work. If you'll get nice DAC chip, connect it properly to good amplifier, you most likely will get a great sound. And that's exactly the case. Sound signature of this DAC is natural, uncolored, with great level of technicalities, and at the same time not focused on the dry micro contrast. It's not going too far, and because of that it doesn't sound monitoring or sterile or something like that. Thanks to good macro dynamics and emotions representation, you're getting technical but at the same time musical signature. Bass go to maximum depth, it's uncolored, so if you need like more weight, for example, you have to use some warmer IEMs. If you like drier bass, you'll need some balanced armatures, earphones with faster bass representation. Great amount of small nuances, but at the same time they are not exaggerated and not pushed forward, so instruments sound natural and not pushed forward. No additional weight, meaning that instruments sound the way they are recorded. At the same time, when it's necessary, it delivers nice rumble and punch thanks to decent amplification. And first example, it's Hiromi Uehara player. And usually I use these tracks as an example of mids or treble, but here it's because of really nice and engaging bass line. It's not over saturated, it's not overemphasized, just staying in place, and it's rendered almost perfectly. And also low notes of fortepiano also sounds really natural. And the second example, Rocket for Me by Caravan Palace. Nice bass line, not over accented, but at the same time really punchy and fast, delivering nice amount of energy. And mids are really balanced, great detalization, but at the same time it's not highlighted, all that small nuances and details, they just stay where they should be. At the same time, dynamics and emotions are slightly highlighted, giving you more emphasis on the instruments and vocals, working as a bit of spice on top of the melodies. It's not super critical for the quality of records, but still better material will give you better results. All instruments sound natural, and never mind, it's some, I don't know, single instrument record or symphony orchestra or some chorus. Everything is well separated and you can hear all that nuances. But at the same time, everything sounds coherent and musical. Vocals have a bit of additional emotions, which highlight them and allows them to shine. Imaginary stage is above average, noticeably above average, with nice positioning, almost holographic, maybe not absolutely 3D, but close to that type of stage building, but at the same time not too diffuse and not exaggerated. And examples for the mid frequencies. First one is Saloon by Clutch. Interesting atmospheric track with guitars, a bit dirty recorded, but at the same time this not perfect record is a part of the atmosphere of this track, and it delivers really well with this tiny DAC. And Beauty by David Gilmour, excellent track with sophisticated guitar work, and Eye3 delivers all that nuances and emotions of the David Gilmour's perfect work with instrument. And treble has great extension, zero attempts to boost it or to hide. Layering, of course, is pretty simplified, but still on the decent for this price level. Attacks and decays are natural without being too fast or too slow. Resolution is nice, but at the same time, if you're sensitive for the high frequencies, it's not the dongle that will deliver comfortable type of the sound signature. It's pretty honest, so what is present in the record, it will play just without attempts to hide it or to highlight. It has a great overtone saturation, both basic and most sophisticated ones. So, we are living in the time period where treble is pretty great even in relatively affordable devices. Because, I don't know, like 7 to 10 years ago, treble was really distinguishing feature of more expensive devices, and for great treble you had to pay more. But now we're getting better and better treble representation in pretty affordable segments. And the first example, it's Shimmy by Vladimir Cosma. Great tune with lot of percussions and overall pretty high-pitched instruments, and that all things go to the high-frequency area and shine, giving a sense of airiness and lightness to this track, and this dongle delivers it really well. And Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. Violins also sounds great, natural with all their nuances and overtones. Speaking about pairings, it's a pretty universal device. On one hand, it offers almost a perfect black background, meaning no background noise for sensitive IEMs. And on the other hand, it can deliver a noticeable amount of power. I actually never had to turn this high gain on because it was enough for almost all headphones and earphones I was listening with it. Of course, not for some power-hungry high-end planars, but vast majority of headphones and earphones will be driving properly by this dongle. And speaking about the comparisons, it's pretty close, in my opinion, to Fuse KA17 in terms of sound. Of course, KA17 has desktop mode and companion app offering more features. But if you're looking for some great sounding and compact device without all that additional features, ddHiFi Eye3 is a great option to consider. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and have a great day.